Welcome to the Simply Billing tutorial. If you have not already, make sure to watch the Getting Started tutorial first to go through the very basics of the program. During this tutorial, we'll be going through more advanced options like billing towards hourly, contingency, and flat fee projects, as well as invoicing. Our first step is to set up our rates. Rates are one of the most important features to set up in the system, and there are 5 different ways to set them in the program. First, click your name at the top right of the screen and select My Profile. Then click Edit, and you'll see the standard hourly rate to the right, which you can fill in. Once you're finished, click Save. This is your default rate, which will bill for all clients and projects unless you've changed it within the client or project itself. Our second rate can be found in the client. If you click Clients in your menu bar, click to add a new client or click an existing client. Once you're in the client profile, click the Billing Rates tab to the right. Here you'll be able to see all of the active users to the left, their default rates to the right, and you can check the box next to the specific user to go ahead and fill in their override rate. Once you're finished, click Save Billing Rates. This will allow you then to just change the rate just for this particular client alone. Our third rate is going to be set up in the projects. Click into an existing project, and to the far right you will also see a Billing Rates tab. Here, check the Per User box to the left, and you'll see the same screen like you saw in your Client Billing Rates tab. Check the Override Rate box next to the user and enter in a new rate, and click Save. This will then only affect this project alone, and override your client and user rates. This comes in handy if you're billing towards multiple projects per client, so the rate then only affects this project only. The fourth and fifth final ways of changing rates in the program is within a time entry. Open up a new time entry and you will see the activity drop-down. This is the fourth way to change the rate in the system. Keep in mind this rate is not client or user specific, so if you set a rate on an activity, any user who chooses that activity will bill at that rate. You can edit your activity list to check the box next to rate to fill in your rates per activity. This will then override the project, the client, and the user rates in the program. And the fifth and final way of changing the rates is by using the override rate option at the bottom right. This is only turned on for system admins, but you can turn this on in the user permissions for each user if necessary. Check the box next to the rate, and it will allow you to fill in and adjust the rate on this time entry. This will then override all past rates in the system, and this will just be the rate set up on this particular time entry alone. Now that we've finished setting up our rates, we can go through the process of billing towards different types of projects. In the Getting Started tutorial, we went through the process of billing towards an hourly project. Now we can continue through and add a contingency and flat fee. Go to Projects and click to create a new project. Fill in the information needed and change the billing method to contingency, and then fill in your percentage rate. This allows you to bill at a percentage of a settlement amount at the end of the case. Once finished, click Save. When you add time to a contingency project, it will default the entry to be non-billable. This allows you to just track the work that's being done at no hourly rate or no dollar amount. Now we can go ahead and add our last project, which will be set up as a flat fee. You can click on the client's name from the project page for a quick shortcut to get back to the client profile. Then at the bottom, click to add a new project. When choosing your billing method set to flat fee, you will have 2 additional options. You can choose either reoccurring, which means that each entry you bill will bill the flat fee you set up in the project initially, or one time, which allows you to track hours against the project, but only bill the flat fee when needed. We're going to stick with the one-time option and click Save. When adding time, it will have the same options as your contingency. So the entry will be set to hourly work and the billable box will be unchecked, making it non-billable so hours can be tracked at no dollar amount. Now that we've added the projects we need, we can go ahead and add time and expenses towards them. If you've gone through the Getting Started tutorial, then you know all the different ways to add time in the program. Whenever you're ready to bill either contingency or flat fee projects, you will need to add one more time entry to show them as billable. Within the contingency project, open up a new time entry and pull down the entry type and change it from hourly work to case closing settlement. Fill out all of the required fields, including the settlement amount at the bottom, and click Save and Close. For the flat fee, go back to the project and click the Add Closing Fee button. Fill in the rest of the entry and you'll see the flat fee amount should be filled in at this point with the flat amount you set up in the project. Once you're finished, go ahead and click Save. Now that all of the time and expenses have been saved to the projects, you can start creating invoices for them. Go to Invoicing in your menu bar. From there, you can view the invoices created in the past, see when they were created. If they're still in a pre-bill or finalized state, you can see the totals for the invoices as well as emailing them to your clients. Top left, you have Find Invoice. This allows you to find invoices either for a particular invoice number or a client. This comes in handy if a client calls and says that they would like all invoices printed and sent to them. You can choose the client and print all of the invoices at once instead of searching for each one. Create Draft allows you to pull all unbilled activity for a particular client without creating an actual invoice for them. You can edit the entries from here. Once you open up an entry and make any adjustments or changes, click Save, and the adjustments will show automatically. You can also create the invoice by clicking the Create Invoice button up at the top. The best part about this feature is that once you exit out of the screen, the invoice will not be created, so you can go back to billing more time on the client without affecting the existing data. Create Statements allows you to create statements for clients with outstanding balances but no unbilled activity. You can choose to exclude recently invoiced clients within the last 15 to 30 days. Then you can check the boxes next to specific clients and click to generate your statements. This will show the clients their balances as of today. Lastly, when you are ready to create your invoices, you want to go through Create Invoice. From Create Invoice, there are only 3 steps you need to follow. First, choose your date range. You can choose a start date if needed, but it's not required and it will not show on the invoice. This is mainly if you have a specific start date in mind. If not checked, the system will automatically pull any unbilled activity from the last invoice for your clients. Your billing through date is the date in which you want your entries to stop at, and your invoice date is just the date of the invoice. Next, choose your clients and projects as needed. Check the boxes next to the clients or projects you wish to invoice. If you just want to invoice one client, you can create a single invoice for just them. If you choose multiple clients, it will create a batch of invoices. After you check the boxes next to your clients, you will see checkboxes in the center and to the right. The center boxes are your labor and expenses. This comes in handy if you want to just bill for expenses, so you uncheck your labor box or vice versa. The boxes to the far right will allow you to bill each of your projects on separate invoices. If unchecked, each project will group and subtotal per project, then grand total at the bottom. If checked, each project will be separated on separate invoices and have a total for just the project alone, just depending on your accounting isolation. Make sure to watch the accounting isolation tutorial for more information. Once you're finished choosing the clients and projects you need, you can scroll up and click Save. By choosing one client, it will bring you to the invoice details page of your single invoice. From here, you can change the billing through and invoice dates as needed. You can add a discount set to either flat rate or percentage. You can write up or down your invoices if you need to change the total of what was invoiced. If you scroll down, you'll be able to view and edit the entries as needed. Hover over an entry that you wish to edit and click into it. From there, you can make whatever changes you need and then save it. Once saved, it will automatically update to this pre-bill. At the top, you will also see an Invoice Summary tab. This allows you to completely summarize the invoice if the client does not need to see the full details of all of the entries. To learn more, make sure to watch the Invoice Summary tutorial. Lastly, you have your Payments tab, and here you can see the invoice total with the remaining balance left to be applied to it. If you already have a payment sitting in your accounting, you can click the Apply button to apply an existing payment. If you want to make a new payment against this invoice, you can click the Receive Payment option to fill in the information to save. At the top, you can click the Print button to view it and the Create PDF button to save it. You also have an export option if you are submitting invoices via leads on a legal plan. Finalizing your invoice will lock your entries from being edited. If you've finalized an invoice and you need to make more changes to it, you can unfinalize it, which will put the invoice back to a pre-bill state and allow you to make further changes. You can also click the Delete button if you're not ready to send this invoice out, which will put the entries back to an unbilled state so you can go back to Create Invoice and your client will be listed there again. If you were to choose multiple clients when creating your invoices, it will create a batch. Once you choose multiple clients, click Save, and you will be brought to your batch details page. Here you can see the list of all of the invoices in your batch. You can click the Edit button to edit it, and it will show you every invoice that's currently in the batch, highlighted in green. You can also remove or add anyone to this batch just by checking the boxes next to their names. Once you're finished, you can click Save. By clicking the first invoice at the top, you will see the same screen like you saw when you made a single invoice. You can make any adjustments or changes you needed from here, and you can also finalize the invoice, which will bring up the next invoice in line. If you want to get back to the main batch page, here you can see the batch ID, which you can click into, and this will bring you back to that main page. From the batch page, you can select all invoices by checking the boxes to the far left and clicking the Finalize or Unfinalize buttons to update multiple invoices at once. You can click Print at the top or Create PDF to save all of the invoices at once. You can also email them to your clients by clicking the envelope icon to the right of a finalized invoice. This feature is the client portal and will allow the client to view their invoice online. They can print it, save it as a PDF, and pay for it online. To learn more, make sure to watch the client portal tutorial. Thank you for watching the Simply Billing tutorial, and make sure to watch the next tutorial in the series, Billing, Invoicing, and Accounting, to go over more advanced billing features.